Hello YouTube, welcome back to Assetto Corsa, and today we're going to be reviewing the Mazda MX5, otherwise known as the Mazda Miata in America, and actually I don't know where else it's known as the Miata. I really should have find that one out. Getting my words in a mix over here. This mod is made by the Pure team, and I have been watching development of this mod for a very long time, and as such I am going to be as harsh as I can possibly be. I'm sorry, Warders, but I have to be as harsh as I can be with this one. So, like I said, this is by the Pure team. Now, the Pure team, as far as I know, used to be a team that was purely on league racing. And the reason they went ahead to make this MX5 is because the MX5 is a very popular car for general racing, especially spec racing, and it's available in iRacing, and there are numerous versions available in Gran Turismo. In fact, I think there's probably 38. I think there may be 38 versions available in Gran Turismo, and it's absolutely insane. So they might as well bring it in and do this one like this. I mean, what have they got to lose, really? What am I going to start with? I think the best thing for me to start with is talking about the engine noises. I think I'm going to start with the sound here, and then I'm going to talk about the specs. And the reason I want to talk about the sound is right now you can hear that I'm just quietly taking it out, and it sounds like a real car, completely and utterly like a real car. This is what an MX5 should sound like, and I found that before I even was out on the track, I found that I was smiling. I thought, yeah, this feels pretty good. Anyway, now it's time to go to the specs. Now, this is a 1995 model. It's the Mazda, like I said, it's Mazda MX5. It's a naturally aspirated 1.8 litre indirect injection. That's something you don't get often. 4 cylinders, and it's inline engine, and it produces about 128 bhp. And with that 128 bhp, it can get you about 152 newton meters, so that's 112 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't bad for a small car, considering that it only weighs about 990 kilos. That's its curb weight. All of that power and that torque allows it to get 0 to 60 time of about 7.9 to 8 seconds, and it propels it on to a maximum factory rated speed, this is what the factory says that we get, of 122 miles an hour. Now, I don't think I managed to get it to 122 miles an hour, but I can tell you something, even at about 50 miles an hour, this car's fairly fun. One thing that you have to do with this car, this is a front wheel drive. Oh God, got this all wrong again. Front engine, rear wheel drive. And the one thing that you've got to know about cars like this, it's a roadster. It's going to have a lot of off throttle oversteer, and you're about to see this right here because I try and give it a go just to see what will happen. Ta-da! That I found was pretty cool. The fact that felt like it should. I went completely off the throttle and just threw the car in the corner. As you would expect, the back end became very light. All the gravity, everything was pitched forward. The weight was all shifted forward. All the grip was on the front wheels. There was barely any grip on the rear wheels. Car spun. And that is exactly what I was expecting it to do. Now, I spend most of this lap trying to see just what this car is like on the limits, while then on the next lap I try and get a decent lap time out of it. So what else is there to really talk about on this car in terms of its specs? Well, the car itself it's a very fun car to drive, in the sense that the MX5 is known in the real world to be one of those sporty cars that you just want. It's one of those cars that you just want to have a drive around. It's not that powerful, like I said. It's 128 bhp. That's really nothing compared to many sports cars today. But it's what it does with that 128 bhp and how it gives you that feeling, and how it manages to get the feeling of the road and the feeling of driving into a person. It makes you feel like you are part of the car, and that is something that I really have to commend the Pure team on. And the Pure team, they have managed to replicate that feeling of driving a real sports car like this into Assetto Corsa, and that's really great. Here we go again, just to see what happens. I was trying not to hit anything here, but it was inevitable. There we go. Sorry, I'm just going to bash up your car a bit. This version currently that I'm reviewing is version 1, but what I have gone and done is I have taken the sound from version 1.01 and I have put that into this version. Now the reason I've done that is because there is an aero glitch, and Waters has told me about this with 1.01, which is causing a lot of downforce on the front of the car. Now naturally, if you have a lot of downforce on the front of the car, it's not something you want, especially it's going to make the car very, very prone to, well, that. Now even more so than it is. So that's something you have to be aware of. That being said, there is a fix that's going to come out as soon as possible. And one of the things that version 1.01 does have, apart from the new F-mod sounds, is, you see the HUD right now is this orangey red. They've changed that to green, I believe. So that's one difference. And I kind of like the red. I don't know. It'd be nice if there was some of them had red and some of them had green. I don't know whether that's possible, but if it is, I think that would be pretty cool. And as you can see right now, I'm just looking at the side because I want to show you something, because I'm going to move on to textures now. And I keep trying to look towards the side, but the sunlight's not giving me this. But the texture, the attention that has been paid to the textures in the car is absolutely phenomenal, inside and out. And here I go again. Inside and out. One thing that you can really tell on is once I get this car around, have a look at where the soft top, where the top actually connects as I attempt a J-turn. It's there or thereabouts. That wasn't a brilliant J-turn, but it's getting there. The soft top. If you have a look at the soft top, you can see the leather, the leather effect. It's well bump mapped. It seems to have a reflection map, a specular map, and it's got the standard texture map. It's all there, the diffuse map's there. It's really, really well done. Now I know that the amount of detail that they've spent on the texturing is absolutely amazing, because you just have to look outside the car to see how well made it is. Take a look at the lights. If you just take a look at the lights when they're off, they have this... Sometimes you think, well, with a light you don't need to show too much. You know, it's a light. People are going to be inside the car. The only time the light's going to be seen really is when the car's on. But regardless of that, they have shown, or they have at least put the pictures up which show the lights as they are up but not on. So obviously pop-up headlights, and the detailing that's in that light just was like, you know, I saw it and I thought, that's really cool. That is really, really cool. And over there, I did do that on purpose. What I've been trying to do there is I'm doing a test of the sound, and what I was trying to see is which sounds were not custom. And one of the sounds that aren't custom, I believe, is the gears. So when you actually knock it into gear and you end up with a box of neutrals, and you know you've got clutch grind, that sound seems to be one that's from Kunos. The other one I think is the car door shutting, but I think that's in the photo mode. What do you call that? The workshop place. Yeah, can't remember the name of that thing now. Showroom. That's what it's called. It's called showroom. The rest of them are fully custom sounds. That's exhaust, that's engine, that's movement, gear click. All of that seems to be custom, and it really does sound like an inline 4 engine. And you know, I've got an inline 4 engine, and when you're pushing this engine at that kind of, you know, that kind of rev range, it does sound like that. It really does sound it feels like it's being pushed just to that edge where it's like, yeah, just I can't be pushed anymore. I can't be pushed anymore, and I'm giving you all, you know, I'm giving you all I can give. And that kind of sound is in here. I would say that the sound quality on this is comparable to any of Kunos' sounds. In fact, I would say the sound quality is comparable to those sounds of Formula Corsa's mods. The Formula 1 cars, these sounds are comparable to that easily. So that's what I've got to say about those sounds. I'm going to move on to the physics. The physics are... they are great, but there's still a little bit of room for improvement, I think. Just a little bit of room. I find that the car does tend to slide maybe a little bit too easily. I mean, it's nice that it slides. The whole, you know, I expect the oversteer. You know, I expect it to be trying to spin out, but I think it happens just a little bit too easily. And maybe there's maybe a setting just somewhere in that code for the aerodynamics, it could be, that just needs to be toned down, or maybe for the suspension. It could just be the default suspension's not that right, and it just needs to be toned down just a little bit, just so that it has just a little bit more stability. See, I'm going to try it again. There we go. You see, it's very easy for it just to spin out as I go and hit the side. Not to say that's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I quite like it, but I think it's just a little too much. And that, you know, that's what I have to say about that. That's one negative point I'm going to say about this. In fact, that is the only negative point I have about this car, unless I am going to start being really picky. As you can see, I'm trying it again. What I'm trying here is I'm trying to see, as you're going downhill sections, off camber, all that kind of stuff, how does the car react? And it does react in an interesting way. It does react in a way that keeps you on your toes. And so for that, I think it's really nice. Let's stop being very picky now. I'm going to say that things I don't like about this car that I really should have no complaints about, but I need to complain about something, is I wish there was a right-hand drive version available. That would be really nice. I wish that when you've got the lights on, you've got the main lights and you've got the side lights. Now, the main lights and the side lights are exactly the same brightness, in a sense. Now, I know the lighting doesn't actually work in Assetto Corsa. It's more of it doesn't actually light up the road or anything. But I would like it if the side lights were not as bright. I think if they were slightly less, it'd be much nicer. Apart from that, I can't fault the car. I really cannot fault the car. And what I am going to do is that we've taken one lap here, and now I'm going to cut to another lap in a couple of moments time, and that lap's where I actually try and put together a proper lap. So you will be looking at a decent lap time there, and it'll be something where I try out the car's actual agility. This car is very agile. One thing, it is so much fun to drive. I'm not going to take anything away from the fun factor. If I was to start breaking it down, I'm going to say, in terms of modelling, 10 out of 10. I know the effort they went into modelling. I've seen all the work in progress pictures. Everything, when they were modelling this, it was so nicely done. And they've been doing this for, I think they started in October 2013 or November 2013, so it's been a long project, and so I followed this all the way through. Very well done on modelling, 10 out of 10. Sounds, I'm going to say again, 10 out of 10. And see, now I've switched to a bit of a drive inside the Nürburgring, and I'm going to take inside the car park of the Nürburgring, and then I'm going to take it out for a spin and see if I can get a proper lap out of this. Sounds, again, across the board, 10 out of 10. It sounds exactly as I expect it to sound. The sounds are great, the volumes are all nicely balanced, and there's all these tiny little sounds, gear changes, these clicks here and there. All of these things add together, the tire screeches, the exhaust pop, it's all there, and it all makes it feel like a very complete car. And like I've said before, sounds are not the end all of a simulation, but they are very important because you can use the sounds to judge what's going on. Understeer, gear, the transmission whine, gears not going in properly, backfire, all that kind of thing. It's all very important in a simulation. 10 out of 10 there. Textures, again, 10 out of 10. There's nothing I can say about textures that's wrong. Physics. Now, physics, I'm going to say that is the one point where I'm going to give you 9 out of 10. The physics are great, but there's just that, it just feels just, at points, it's just slightly overboard, just slightly over-exaggerated. And I don't mean in a massive way, in a very slight way. For example, the fact that you can oversteer the car very, very easily. But I know that they're working upon this, and it's going to be available in the future. I know they're going to update it, and they're going to fix up all these physics, and I really hope that, you know, they look at this and just improve these small little bits. 9 out of 10 for the physics. The availability of colors. Now I'm going to start being really picky. The availability of colors, I'm going to say 7 out of 10, but that's not going to affect my overall grade. There are about 12 colors available. Some of them you can have tan seats if you like the tan colored seats. I personally prefer the black seats, and I kind of like this blue color. So I think there's 12 or 15 available. And of course, there's already livery packs out there which have a bunch of extra liveries and a bunch of extra colors, and, you know, little decals here and there, and vinyls and all that. It's already been made. So putting all that together, there are dozens available. Fun factor, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, this is an absolutely brilliantly fun car to drive. I think it's one of the top cars in the Assetto Corsa at this point, and it's definitely my favourite sports car in this power bracket. I think it's definitely become my favourite sports car in this power bracket. And we'll have to see if what comes around, if other things come around. See, there, when I'm taking the car around the corner like that, that was where it was just like so much fun. Just a quick bit of counter steer, make sure that the back end doesn't step out, and back onto the power, just like that. Future for this car. Yeah, let's finish with that. I'm going to say future for this car. The models are in work. There will be an S1 model coming in, but I can't give you a date for that. Possibly within the next few months. Don't quote me on that one. I have seen this in work, so we'll have to have a look and see when that comes out. And when it does come out, I'd like to have a go. I'd like to have a go at it. I might not make another review on it. In fact, I probably won't make another review on it, but I may make an extra video just to talk about it. The other thing is they are supported by the Flying Miata group, and they are a tuning company for Mazda MX5s. So because they're supported by them, you can expect an S2 version in the future, an S3 version in the future, drift version, rotary engine version. I'd like to see those kind of versions, especially the rotary engine. This car with pulling 250 bhp, that'd be quite nice. And also the Spec Miata. So the Spec Miata Spec MX5, that one's the one in iRacing that you see and people use. I know Empty Box likes to race them. If you haven't seen Empty Box, do check out his channel. He's got some pretty good videos. So he does like to race these cars, and I would like to race him in Assetto Corsa. Get involved in leagues. I know that this is going to be designed for league racing, so it's very relevant to the current state of Assetto Corsa, where the leagues and everything are coming in. Almost lost it there. Overall, I'm going to give this car an A. I think it's very well made. Everything, apart from the physics, which is just slightly off, everything is spot on. And it's a lot of fun to drive. I will leave a download link in the description box below. Like I said, the update for version 1.01 will be coming out, which should fix the extended downforce, if we put it like the extra downforce that is available on the front nose. It should fix that. Apart from that, everything about this car, I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Well worth a download. Top marks, well done to the entire Pure team, and keep up the good work. I can't wait to see the rest of the cars, and I can't wait to drive them. And I'm sure that you guys can't wait to drive them, so go download it and give it a spin. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa, and leave a comment in our comments box below letting me know what you guys think about this car. And I'll be sure that if Wardez hasn't seen any of these, I'll be sure to pass on the messages to him and make sure that obviously the whole community is heard. Once again, thank you very much for watching. We're AD Studios, and I'll see you next time.